I can't remember what run it was, but it's gonna be against Dani. Dani's playing. I think he's pure Orcust. I don't think he was playing the Sky Striker build. And I look at my hand, I'm like, oh, this hand's amazing. This is exactly what you want to be seeing. Interactions and engine cards, or ways to get your engine cards. Because basically what the Archiver and backup are. So I imperm his math, and that's like with the pure Orcust build, that's kind of their thing. They want it because they require just one card to get everything going. Either the Greffer, the Scrap, the Armageddonite, the Mathematician. Like, you either open one of those, and you can literally have 4 hand traps on one of those. And if that resolves, then that's fine, because you have 4 Orcust combo with 4 hand traps. But if that gets negated, all you can have is 4 interactions, and you're hoping on your top deck to be one of those cards, which is like quite likely, but most of the time it's like it can be a bit of an issue. This is what I meant. Look at that. See Archiver. Yeah, he tries to crow it. I'm like, yeah, I have to call up with the grave this. And I put about desires, which just makes me feel kind of at ease. But I want to make sure I try to like get the Gazelle out of the deck before anything. And like most of the time, like I said, like when people use interactions before Nibiru, it makes me think that they don't have Nibiru, because otherwise you would just hold your interactions and just, you know. Ash is me. There's the Ash. See what I mean? Like you have, and now I'm free to use my desires. Now hopefully this is where I draw like the traps, which is why I like playing a higher card count of the traps. Because if you draw the ceiling, oh, I drew one of the traps. That's good. And it reduces the chances of you banishing it. Drew Buffalo. Yeah, I was thinking like I should have desires first. Maybe like I draw Buffalo beforehand. But like, nah, it's fine. And I'm thinking like, I want to keep the Stalio. Like I was thinking like maybe, yeah, I should keep the Stalio, and because I don't want to, I don't like Wolf. Like there's no real reason to go for Wolf other than making the rage much more like bigger, because you can pop 2 cards instead of 1. But I feel like I have Imperm and Rage, so I think seeing from what his hand is, I can those 2 cards can almost end his turn. And I didn't want to give him a card, like, so I left it there. So like if he does summon something, right? Like for instance right here, I could easily just like popped either or, but like that'd be pointless. I'll just wait for the Galatea. Yeah, and I'm thinking like, should I pop this? You know, because like all he has 2 cards. He needs 2 bodies, so he needs to have like a Foolish or a Gizmo. Those are both 1-ofs. So it's like thinking like, let's risk it. Let's go for it. Like, I pop the Galatea. Yeah, and then he just ends up scooping. Let's go to the next game. And then Dani goes starts again. Wait a second. I draw pretty good. I draw Imperm. I keep drawing the Imperms. I was like, oh, see, this is again like you draw 3 interactions and 2 engine cards, which is what you want. You want to be seeing that, because like that's Stalio already. You hinder him and you have Stalio on top of the Lancia. Like that's insane. You get Imperm is just insane. Oh my God. Set some pass, like that's it. That's basically the pure Orcust is kind of, that's what it's about. And my first fear, my first impression is like, if that's a Call of the Grave. Like that's basically most of the time when you play against Orcust, that's like one of your things. And that and Imperm. But like Call of the Grave is much more like scary. Like I'm thinking like I can clear his guy. I can run over his guy, so that's one less material. So if he summons like an Orcus monster, I have Call of the Grave to like prevent any setup, any port sort of like regain traction. And then I have Lancia, something like I should be fine. Everything should be okay. I'm using Foxy here. He's debating whether he wants to interact with the Foxy effect, and he goes Crow, and like I'm like thinking like should I Call of the Grave this or keep the Call of the Grave for his turn and like hinder him, like should I progress my game state or reduce his? And I was thinking like, nah, I have Lancia, so I think I have to because Lancia should be enough instead of the call by. Because like I can't use call by and Lancia, so but just Yeah, but I kind of need the the Stalio because I mean if I have Lancia and Imperm to hit, yeah, he did have the callback, and I have Lancia and Imperm, but like they're not really engine. Like if I drew one of the traps, one of the actual traps, I think it would have been much better because like I could have cycled that through turn after turn with the wolf. And I just want to get rid of the body on board. Like just that's one more card that he just needs to like with an Orcus card. And that was my fourth summon, so I'm like, should I just go and get Imbuer range? I'm like, no, but I keep my wolf because there was no reason to relink the wolf there. Like no reason at all. Man. Some is math and an impermanent. He's like, what the fuck? I was surprised why he tried to crash and like charge on something. So he just passes. I go, I draw. Draw another crow. I'm like, okay, more interaction, but like, I would much rather had the traps. But like, this is game 2, so I'm assuming I go in second. So I side out. Remember I talked about in the deck profile? I side out two of each trap and 2 will, because going second. When you know you go in second, those are not too beneficial. And this is where I was debating whether to attack this guy or not. I was like, well, I mean, I would much rather have him try to summon twice instead of giving him a body and not summon yet. And like, yeah. This is where it's tricky though because like I could have shotgun the Lancia and just like prevent any allures, any like any of that stuff. But like I don't know, I just feel like holding it was just better. Because I have Crow. If his plays are very minimal, Crow can deal with it, and if it's overwhelming, then that's why I have Crow. I mean Lancia. I mean. I think in hindsight, I should have just no, I'm good. Should be fine. Yeah, just drop Lancia here. Cause I was like, what if he sends Gizmek, but then I have Crow anyways? Maybe so it's like, eh. Yeah, so like I'm thinking like I need to draw like an engine card. either like what trap, one of the solid traps. Um, passes again. And I draw an archiver. I'm like, oh crap, this is not good. It's not good at all. Yeah, this is where like, mm, yeah, right here I was thinking of going into Hida to try to get something, but I was like, well, no, nah. So I just end up just attack and pass. I'm hoping this crow is enough, which is that I was kind of doubting it because he has harp and nightmare. And I'm like, fuck. I needed to see some like a Foxy to get me to something, or like a. I need to see something other than just these -1 interactions. Like these -1 interactions would have been fine if I had like an engine card, which would be any of the Salamangreat, either traps or the spinnies. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird how Yu-Gi-Oh is sometimes, but like, yeah, like having those interactions are good, but like they need to be backed up with something else, something definitive, like something you can constantly get back, which in this case would be the traps. And I'm like, yeah, he's just going off. So I'm holding the crow for like if he tries to go for like some sort of OTK, like if he tries to go for like the boar sword play, I just crow the Gizmek or crow the Dingir. So if he tries to do so, and live. Bombard. Summon skeleton. A skeleton, right? Yeah, skeleton. Hmm. It's the babble. Attack 26. So here I'm thinking I need something here. I need to draw something here. Like, I mean, he had IP either way, I guess. So it kind of didn't really matter too much. Draw an Ash. I'm thinking like I don't have any engine cards. There's nothing I can relink. He has Dingirsu. I mean, I can just crow it, but like, I'm starting to say like, yeah, I didn't get started with anything like other than the style that I needed to resolve. I need. Was it, no, it wasn't Stalio. It was Yeah, no, I think that's what it was. I just didn't get to any yeah, it's passed. Debating on whether to crow it or not, and I end up crowing it. So like, should I ash this? I think he had Devil Nightmare though. That's what it was. Right here, this is where Archiver is cool because it can save you because it'll summon to the link zones. He summoned to the zones at some Archiver. Yeah, so he just goes for the poor sword play. Yeah, just scoop. Go to game 3. Alright, here we go. Game 3. And every single time I'm thinking like, I don't have Nibiru, right? That's like one of my first instincts. Don't have Nibiru. But I was like, look at his hands, amazing, man. So I put everything, all the traps back. I put it, like, everything's back at 3 roar, 3 rage, 3 wheel. Like, so I'm down to draw them, right? But I just keep the crows and keep the Lancias. And I take out the Nibirus because like I think Lancia. But I can't remember if I took out Nibirus or not. I'm pretty sure I did. I took out the Imperns, take out the Nibirus because I felt like Crow and Lancia are much better than those two against this matchup. Buffalo draw 2. Oh my god, so good. What? I draw Crow. I draw Foolish. Oh my god, it's so amazing. This is so good. This is what I meant. Like. You have more ways to keep pushing past like interactions compared to just having Foxy and the Spinny. So you have Archiver as well. Look at my hand, dude. So cool. And the Foolish is there. It can be any. It can be Jaguar. It can be Falco. It can be Gazelle. Bring back Gazelle effect. You know, like just so good. And I'm thinking right here, Nibiru. Does he have Nibiru here? He has Nibiru. He drops Nibiru. Nibiru. But I was like, I got Will. Well, no, I don't use Will first. I use that first. Because I'm thinking like, if he has Ash, at least I can do a heater play, you know? If I drew backup and any other salad, I would have not used Sea Archiver yet. So I could have done the play I was talking about where you link away the token and then special backup under Link Spider and trigger the Archiver and try to do your Stalio again. So like I'm like, okay, that's cool. I have Crow and I have Roar, so that should be enough. Go for the heater play. He's like, no, what the fuck? So like now, the Archiver is just full value now because it's in the grave. It's a constant return resource that you already established, right? Assuming you live, right? So I'm pretty sure I go for Heat Leo here because I was like, there's no real reason for me to go to Wolf. Like I don't want to reuse. Heatleo is not very impactful in this matchup, so I'd rather just keep my Wolves. And plus, he can't crash, so it doesn't force the Balinks. You know, that's why I went for Heatleo, and let him think that I'll maybe have like the top 3 type of thing. So set and pass. Here's Cosmic. Cosmic's my thing. Forces it. I negate it. See, like now, any other any backup, any Foxy, like it just makes everything live. It's reading Sierra Kyber. So I like about it. It just stops OTKs. Instead of playing multiples of it, that means you're if you use it on their turn, use it on your turn, and it's like it's a constant like nuisance. It's just in your face. It's always there. Sierra Kyber. Little seahorse. It goes Bombard. Goes Galatea. This is the only time I guess it would be good, because like giving him the zone, he wants to like use the zone. So like he would have gone for, if I went Wolf there, I could add back my Buffalo, or add back Spinny. So that's what he's contemplating on. But I'm not sure if he's trying to bait me and try to use so he won't have to deal with the Archiver later in the game. That's probably what he was trying to accomplish, like force the, you know, like. There goes Galatea. So then Girsu send. He's gonna send. I think I was debating whether I want to use it or not. I was like, no, I'd rather not risk it. Sets and pass. I'm like, please don't be caught with the Graves. That's like one of my biggest fears. And I draw Desires. You know how good is drawing Desires in a 50 card deck is? It's like you're not in fear of banishing your 1-of because you have a 50 card deck. Like, it's not as likely, and it's like it just feels so good playing it. Like it just feels so natural. Like you don't have the pressure of like the paranoia as if you did playing the 40 card build. So I go for the will first, just because I don't want to know that I have Desires. So I want to like, because like, Desires can still give me all the good things. Because remember I said you play 4 type of level 3s that can special summon themselves: Foxy, Spinny, and then Archiver and Backup. So like if you use up these 2, then you have the other 2. Does that make sense? Because like, I remember how I always mentioned, like you play with the cards your opponent knows you have, so he can be like unaware of what you don't have, what you might have. Go effect, and it resolves. I'm like, oh my god! So it's not called by, it's not imperm. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. But I'm still scared of Nibiru though, because Nibiru is like kind of annoying. But right now, I think I'm just using Desires as like a backup. Like it could potentially give me something here, where like it'll give me something. And yeah, I send the Jaguar because I would much rather have Recursion and I have Desires to try to get me the traps. Whereas if I bounce my Jaguar off Desires, like I know it's not likely, but like I just want to not take the chance. See, I draw the traps. This is what I meant. Like that's what happens when you play that many traps, and you're in this situation. Like the variance a 50 card build gives you is pretty amazing. Look at my field centers. Oh, they're so cool. Thank you, Clinton. They're freaking amazing. Bounce it. So at this point, I'm like, does he have Nibiru? He would have used it. He would have. I'm not sure if he would have used it by then, but like, I don't know. So I go with emotion. Play with what he knows I have, not what he doesn't know. Cause I still have Signet mining, and mining can give me a debug, and debug can search, and I can still establish my board. You know, I still have roar, still have crow. So they'll serve as surprise factors. I was debating whether to just spin the back, like what to add. And I was like, let's just go Signet mining. Get rid of the buffalo. Like I don't want him to know I have the trap. And then he's gonna skip me. That's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.